Hey everybody, I have a funny story to share with you. But it's also a story with a lesson that I want to leave with you. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this scene right here?
Back up! Back up! Mind your business, that's all this mind.
That scene. That's what we're talking about. How to sharpen your intuition by minding your business. Now, when we talk about our intuition, we're talking about that place within us where we receive guidance. Now, when we talk about the chakras, that spot right between here, your third eye, your brow chakra, when that is clear, we're able to connect very clearly with all that is, and we receive, we're aware. Not that we receive, because just so you know, we're always receiving guidance, we're always receiving messages. But some people are more keen and more aware of those messages, and some people respond to those messages with alacrity, while others numb that, right? So I'm going to share a story. Like I said, the story is coming up shortly. But before I do that, I want to just give some tips as to how we can help to sharpen our intuition. What can we do that can help to make the guidance that's always coming to us very clear, so that we will move with the knowing that we're always supported and we'll trust what is always coming to us, right? So you guys, it's not a secret anymore. Meditation is a thing, and it's in. If you didn't know, meditation is in. So get with the program, okay? Spend time with yourself, sit with yourself, be still and know. All right. If you want to know about that, we can do another video. However, we talk about meditation. It's not this. All right. We're simply talking about being still, sitting with yourself. Sit with yourself for some time. Take time to breathe and allow oxygen to flow through your cells. If you pay attention, you realize that most times you're not intentionally breathing. Now we breathe, okay? But quite often we're holding on to our breath. Breathe. Take the time to be aware of the breath that's coming into you, the breath that's leaving you, right? And that allows not only for more oxygen to go through our cells and our brains, but then we become more mindful of the thoughts that we're thinking. And the aim is not to stop those thoughts. The aim is to be aware of the thoughts that we're thinking. Because if you're paying attention, you're going to realize that, man, I didn't realize that every few seconds they're coming and they're leaving, they're coming and they're leaving, right? So meditation helps to quiet your mind and make you be more aware of the thoughts that you're always receiving all the time, right? Another way that you can really help. Now I was going to talk about what not to do, but it's very important to talk about what you can do, right? So another way that you can help to sharpen your intuition and be more aware of the guidance that's coming to you is to deal with your stuff. What stuff am I talking about? What came to your mind when I said the stuff? What was the first thing that came to your mind when I said deal with your stuff, right? Everybody has some form of trauma. Some are more aware of them than others. Some of them have, some individuals have memory blocks and they may not be able to remember certain incidents. I'm one of those people who think that the memory blocks alone are an indicator that there's something there. All right. And so when you become aware of what you're doing, right, you know that there's certain patterns, some habits that you have, and you may not necessarily know where those stem from. Just the awareness of that opens the door and opens the opportunity for you to receive the answers. Your job is to remain open, right? When you choose not to deal with your stuff, you're actually blocking off the opportunity to receive the clear guidance that's always coming to you. All right, guys, the next point, be mindful of what you feast your mind on. Be mindful of what you focus on. We know that saying, at least I think we know that saying, where focus goes, energy flows, right? Whatever you pay attention to, that's what grows in your space, in your awareness. That's what you continue to attract, right? If you read the Bible, it says something about we're changed in the same image, right? It's based on what you're focusing on. Whatever you're focusing on continues to grow, right? So you want to be mindful of that. The next thing is you want to be mindful of what you put inside this temple, this body, this shell that houses your spirit, that actually is responsible for bringing the awarenesses to the surface, right? And like I said, we're always receiving. Let me say that differently. The messages are always coming. Now, whether you're receiving them is another point, right? They're always coming. And if you're focusing on outside sources that are seeking to build fear within you, whether it's the news, social media, society in a whole, whatever you're focusing on, is it building your faith or is it building your fear? Is it sharpening your intellect or is it numbing your spirit, right? So you want to be mindful of that. Be very mindful of what are you spending most of your day focused on, right? If you take a stock of today, the day that you're looking at this video right now, think of what you did today and what took up the most of your time? Who took up the most of your time? An important question to ask. And then you'll know if you're giving room for your spirit, for your intuition to grow within you, or if you're numbing it. I'm going to share a story. Like I said, it's not actually a woohoo story about how I conquered, but I'm going to share just an example of how you can even numb that based on my experience, right? So another point, what can you do to sharpen your intuition? Well, guys, you also want to be mindful of what you put inside this body. I spoke about what you focus on, but what you put into your body. What foods are you eating? I'm not talking about, when I say clean foods, I'm not talking about meat or anything. I'm talking about, is it lively foods? Are you putting living foods inside of you, or are you just putting junk in your body, right? Because there are foods that are created simply to do just that, just to numb your awareness so that you're not receiving the information that is always available to you so that you can live this life and really thrive, right? Another point, when we become, here's another point. Listening? You still hear me? When we become attached to outcomes as opposed to paying attention to what is happening in this moment, we miss the opportunity to see what source is giving us in this moment. We cross paths with people all the time, and people come into our lives for different reasons, and quite often we create our own meaning as to why something is on our path, right? And when we do that and we fail to remain in the moment, that creates a gap that causes us to miss the lessons, to miss the teaching moments that come for us moment by moment, regardless of what the other person's intentions may be. All right, there's always an opportunity to grow and to learn, right? Feeding your fears instead of your faith, right? When we're focused on the things that debilitate our mind and spirit, then we're numbing the space that is created for us to receive our intuition, right? So you want to be really mindful. Now there's another point that I want to make, right? That really helps to sharpen our intuition. You ready for it? Become like little children. When we talk about becoming like little children, what are we talking about? Just having that free, playful spirit of children that we all have within us and was created in us for that reason. And most times it is numbed when we go through some traumatic event, or when we determine that, oh, we're adults now, so we have to do the adulting thing. And what is the adulting thing? We have to become serious. We take life so serious. We can't play. We can't have fun. And we're so skeptical of everything because life teaches you not to trust anybody. Now, here's the thing. Where should your trust be? I don't know about you guys, but I walk with the knowing that wherever I am, in whatever moment that I am, that I'm always being guided, and that no harm will come my way because I'm in that space that I believe I'm always protected. Doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. Guys, I have a hard time with the word bad because all things always work together for good, right? Doesn't mean that unpleasant experiences come my way. You bet. Do I shed tears? Do I feel pain at times? You bet. Those tears sometimes, though, they're very healing, and they create space when let me personalize it, when I understand what is occurring in my life in that particular moment, it creates space for me to deal with, even and to receive deeper awarenesses that causes me to expand. And I believe it's the same for everyone. When you separate, you are able to look at life without creating meaning, trust that you're being guided, then every opportunity that comes your way, even the perceived unpleasant one, they're presented to you to help you to grow and expand. You understand that? So little children, they have a trusting nature. I want to say that our trust should be focused on all that is, the universe, God, whatever title you use. That's where your trust should be. So that when you come in contact with someone, instead of being skeptical, instead of being fearful, instead of being so cautious, that trust that you're always being guided moment by moment creates space to know that you're being protected. And when any danger is coming near you, it will always be intercepted. It will always be intercepted. So here's the story. You ready? There was someone that I was talking to. Man, I enjoyed the conversations. We used to speak so often on the phone. So often. And I enjoyed the conversations. I enjoyed time spent, right? And like I said, every encounter, I always know that source is guiding and there's always a reason for everything. And there was. And I was grateful for that. Now, I added this app on my phone. And the app that I added was a spam checker, right? The app was added to my phone so that if any incoming call, if I were to receive any calls, right, that were potential spam calls, that app would block them. And it would, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You have those spam blockers, right? So it blocks any potential spam calls so that I wouldn't be getting those random calls all throughout the day, with somebody trying to sell something or somebody trying to collect some tuition or whatever the case may be. So I had an app on my phone. That app was not supposed to check any number that is saved in my phone. You get that? Any random number coming through, it would block it and it would give me a notice that that was a potential spam call. But the numbers saved in my phone, they're safe numbers, right? Tell me why. After a while, this particular call would be coming through. I didn't know the call was coming through, okay? I just thought I wasn't getting calls from this particular person. Eventually, I called and the message that I received was, "You're not answering my calls." And I'm saying, "What are you talking about? You haven't called me." "Yes, I've been calling you and it's been going straight to voicemail." "I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't received a call from you." So guys, I went in my phone and I checked, and sure enough, I had a list of calls from this particular number. But guess what? Every other number that comes through as potential spam. Tell me why this number came through as fraud alert. Fraud alert. Now I kept checking. This is a number saved in my phone. I reported it to the app. This shouldn't be blocked because it's saved in my phone. Kept coming through fraud alert. No other number in my contacts except I can laugh at it now. Except this particular number. Now, guys, at the time I was frustrated, okay, because I wanted them calls, all right? But I was trying to figure out. Now, moments like these, I don't know about you guys, I go inward. I'm like, okay, source, like, you trying to tell me something? What am I missing here? Because in that moment, I did not see any reason for this to be happening. Like, what are you trying to say? Why is this number coming in as fraud alert? Not spam, not fraud. I just don't get it. I let it go. Somehow, somewhat, kind of, sort of, I let it go. I just said, well, if there's something that I need to know, you're going to reveal it to me, right? But I have a confession to make. I lied to the person because, I felt bad saying that your number was coming up on my phone as a fraud alert and that it was the only number. So I said, I don't know why this is happening. There are few numbers coming in like that, and I have to deal with the app company. And what did I do? I deleted the whole app. I deleted the entire app because I wanted the call. That being said, I did that, but I also made space for source to reveal to me if there was something I wasn't seeing. If there's anything I'm not seeing, make it available to me. When you make that statement, be prepared, guys.
What?
Be prepared for what comes, right? I'm not going to share details here, but I will say that that question was made clear. The answer to that question, was made very, very clear. Very, very, very clear. And very quickly. And it came through multiple sources, right? Dreams, downloads. Even in dealing with clients, they say one thing that leads me to one source that gives clarity on something. And so in a very short time, the clarity for that came. Now, what I did is what most people do on a times 10 level, right? You receive the message, or the message comes through and we say, oh, that's a coincidence. I knew it wasn't a coincidence, even if I had no evidence at the time of why I was getting this message, right? And this is just one example, one of many examples of ways in which intuition comes to us. And quite often we miss it because we're not paying attention. Sometimes it's the words, the messages that come through. And anytime you have to stop and ask yourself, or anytime you find yourself stopping and saying, oh, that's a coincidence. Pay attention. All right? Pay attention. Women, I believe that we have this ability to tap into our intuition because of our emotions, right? Because of our emotions. When we get into that space where we trust like children, we actually create space without the attachment, that is. We create space to receive the messages, but we also block that because the very point that I made earlier about becoming attached to the outcome, right? We numb our intuitions. We're always getting messages. Always. It's coming to you all the time, right? All the time. I'm going to share another story. I'm on 18 minutes right now, but I'm going to share another story. I had a client recently, and we've been meeting for some time now. And one day I was getting dressed to go to work, and I was already dressed actually in this particular outfit. And then I got a random message. Nothing is random. But a random message to wear my hat. Now this hat, see the picture right there? I love my hat, but truth moment, if you see me with that hat, there's something going on under here, okay? There's something going on under here. My hair was good. I had just gotten it done. There was no reason to wear my hat, but the message that came through was, wear your hat today. So I wore my hat, Since I chose the hat, now I had to change my outfit. So I changed my outfit, black shirt to match the hat with my blue shoes, looking good. And I wore my hat with my outfit to work. So our call was on Zoom and we're having the session. And, she commented on how much she liked the hat, and that was it. And somewhere in the middle of the session, I took the hat off and I put it on the table. And she said, "Why do you take the hat off?" I said, "I don't know. I mean, my hair looks good. I just wore it because I felt like it." And then we kept talking. And I asked her a question pertaining to her session about someone. What is it about this person? What is a visual that reminds you of this person? And the response, she said, "That's interesting." And I said, "What's interesting?" And her response was, "They used to wear a hat just like that." And then she mentioned the name of the person. The name of the person, I had just been on a street just before coming to the office, on that particular street that I never go to, but the name of the person was the name of the street. That's interesting. This person has transitioned, and that day was the date, the anniversary of their transition. Coincidence? I don't know. And as we're talking, I receive a message, a clear message. Now, some of you have different beliefs, but that message was from that person. The only way I was able to be aware of it is because of all the pieces coming together. And the hat was the catalyst to all of that, right? It led her into a bigger awareness that had I not worn that hat, she might have been oblivious to, right? So what am I saying? It wasn't about the hat. My hair was done. It was about the guidance in that moment. It was also about this person needing to get a breakthrough and Source knowing that that was going to be the catalyst, and me agreeing to follow through on the guidance that was coming to me in that moment so that she could have a breakthrough, right? So I shared the one story where I lied and I tried to do my own thing to numb what was going on. I didn't really numb. I was just being difficult and wanting to control in that moment, right? But I also shared this experience that just came to me, right? An example of something that you would have encountered. How many times looking back, let's take, for example, a relationship that didn't work out. How many times looking back can you see, oh yeah, if I was paying attention, I would have seen this and I would have seen that. I would have, man, I wasn't paying attention. Is it that you were not paying attention, or was it that there were certain things standing in the way of you really being confident in the awarenesses that were being brought to you? So I thought I'd share this experience. I thought I'd share about just how we can sharpen our intuition. The main way, mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. What's your business? What do you need to mind? Take care of your stuff. Feed this temple. Watch what you focus on, because where focus goes, energy flows. Bye, guys.